top stories this hour. 2 killed and 4 wounded in renewed Azerbaijan-Armenia rivalry clashes. 2 jet ski tourists shot dead after straying into Algerian waters. Pope arrives in Mongolia, sends message of unity and peace to China. Hello and welcome to World News on VOP TV. I'm Joy Adesowa Iremoseli. The Algerian Coast Guard has reportedly shot dead 2 holidaymakers, including a French national who strayed into Algerian waters from Morocco while on their jet skis. Bilas Kissi and Abdelali are reported to have been shot and killed, while a third man, Smail Snabe, also French-Moroccan, is understood to have been injured and was arrested by the Algerian Coast Guard. They were said to be part of a group of 4 French-Moroccans who had set off from Saidia Marina in Morocco after lunch on Tuesday, but got into difficulty in the late afternoon and found themselves lost in Algerian waters. Mohamed Kissi, the brother of Bilal, was the only one of the 4 to make it back to Morocco after the incident. He has rejected claims that the 4 had tried to escape when they were discovered by the Coast Guard. He said he believed his brother had asked for directions back to Saidia, but then he added that as they were heading back, the Coast Guards opened fire, so 5 bullets were opened against his brother and friend. He also stated that he was picked up by the Moroccan Navy on his way back and told them what had happened, but when they went back to look for the bodies, they could not find them. However, a Moroccan government spokesman has said it was a matter of the judiciary, and there has been no comment from the Algerian authorities. 17 persons were injured today as an unexplained explosion occurred after a fire broke out at a public bathhouse in South Korea's southeast city of Busan. The fire started from the bathhouse in Busan, some 320 kilometers southeast of Seoul, but firefighters brought the main flame under control later. The unidentified explosion struck the site twice, wounding 17 persons, which included firefighters and civil servants. Among the wounded, 2 persons were in a critical condition, but no customer injury was reported as the bathhouse was closed for the day. The police and the firefighting authorities are investigating the exact cause of the accident. 9 soldiers have been killed in Pakistan when a suicide bomber rammed his motorbike into their military convoy and set off explosives. Another 5 soldiers were wounded in the attack that took place in the Restiv Banu district of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, located 61 kilometers from the Afghanistan border. Some of the security officials estimate the number of injured to be 20. The attack has been claimed by Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), Pakistan's homegrown Taliban group. The province has long been a hot spot for militant activity, where organizations such as TTP have increased their attacks since the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. The TTP are a separate group but allies of the Afghan Taliban. Caretaker Prime Minister Ul-Haq called the attack a cowardly terrorist act. At least 6 soldiers were killed in a skirmish with militants in the Asman Manza area of South Waziristan district in late August. Another suicide bombing last month at a political gathering in the northwest killed more than 60 people, including 23 children. The attack was claimed by the Islamic State militant group. In January, a Taliban suicide bomber blew himself up during the afternoon prayers in a mosque in Peshawar, killing 101 people and injuring hundreds. An unknown number of gunmen have raided the Kakuma refugee camp in Turkana and killed a South Sudanese refugee in an attack. The deceased was identified as Francis Lado Abraham, who is 29 years old. According to the police, the incident happened at Kalobeye, Village 3 within Kakuma refugee camp. They then shot the refugee in the head and escaped into the nearby thicket. The wife, who was inside the house at the time of the incident, told police the killers were speaking Arabic language. 3 spent cartridges of 7.62 mm special were recovered at the scene. The police also stated that during the incident, nothing was stolen from the house. Preliminary findings show the gang was targeting the deceased in what the police believed to be his home background. The motive, however, is yet to be known. The deceased and his family were among thousands who were accommodated at the refugee camp. The incident prompted a security meeting by local security bosses to ensure no similar one happened. The body of the man was moved to the local ICRC clinic for autopsy and other procedures. Police noted that they are investigating a murder in the issue and will liaise with their South Sudanese counterparts if it emerges the gang originated there. The police also affirmed that they are making several security arrangements to ensure the safety of refugees there. 2 Armenian soldiers have been killed and 3 Azerbaijani service personnel were wounded early hours of today in renewed clashes between the rival nations. Azerbaijan's defense ministry stated that 3 of its personnel were wounded in attacks in the town of Kalbajar near its border with Armenia. According to the ministry, 2 soldiers were wounded when Armenian armed forces launched a drone strike on Azerbaijani trenches near the town of Kelbesa from the Wardenis province of eastern Armenia. Earlier, the ministry reported clashes with Armenian forces in the same area, where one Muhammad Tajiyev was injured and hospitalized in a military facility. It accused Yerevan of purposefully raising the tensions in the region by targeting its military positions with arms, mortars, shellings, and Kamil Gaze drones. The exchange of fire marks another flare-up in tensions between the South Caucasus neighbors, which have been steadily rising since last December and left half a dozen people dead on both sides. Baku has been accused of blocking the Lachin corridor, the only land route connecting Azerbaijan's Karabakh region to Armenia. The pair have both locked in a deadly dispute over the Karabakh enclave, internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan but illegally occupied by Armenia for over 3 decades, which was recently liberated by Azerbaijan since the 1980s and fought 2 wars over the territory. In 2020, Azerbaijan liberated several cities, villages, and settlements from illegal Armenian occupations during 44 days of clashes. The war ended with Russian-brokered peace agreement. An Israeli has been killed and 2 others injured yesterday morning when a Palestinian terrorist rammed them with a truck at a Maccabeen crossing along Route 443, close to the central city of Modi'in. The victims, all in their 20s, were treated by Magen David Adom emergency medical personnel before being evacuated to hospital. According to the Israel police, 1 was in serious condition and 1 suffered only minor injuries. The terrorist fled the scene but was tracked down and neutralized at the Hashmonaim crossing some 10 kilometers away. Israel Police Deputy Commissioner Avi Bitin stated that the terrorist was a 41-year-old Palestinian who was known to who was known to security forces and had a work permit to enter Israel. Prime Minister and author Benjamin Netanyahu was receiving updates on the attack, according to his office. Hours earlier, an Israeli man was moderately wounded in a stabbing in the Sheftei Israel light rail stop outside Jerusalem's Old City. The alleged assailant, identified by local media as a 14-year-old Arab resident of Beit Hanina in northern Jerusalem, was shot and killed by a border policeman who witnessed the attack. Separately, on Wednesday evening, 2 Israeli bus drivers were lightly injured when their vehicle was stoned by Palestinians on a highway in western Samaria. The attacks occurred on Route 55 near the Arab village of Nabi Yas, located close to the Israeli community of Alfei Menashe. One of the drivers was wounded in the eye by shrapnel, while the other suffered a shoulder injury. According to Rescuers Without Border, both were evacuated to Meir Medical Center in Kfar Saba. Early on Wednesday, an Israel Defense Force soldier was lightly injured when a Palestinian terrorist rammed his car into a military post near Beit Haggai, close to Hebron in Judea. Pope Francis has arrived in Mongolia today for the first papal visit to the Asian nation, as he sent a message of unity and peace to neighboring China in a bid to improve ties. The 86-year-old pontiff's trip through Monday to the Buddhist majority nation is a gesture of support for the tiny community of Catholics numbering about 1,400, but at the same time a strategic move to improve Vatican ties with neighbor China and Russia. Pope Francis, who arrived this morning following a 9-hour journey from Rome, told journalists aboard the papal plane that the vast, sparsely populated country of Mongolia was one that can be understood with the senses. The plane passed over Chinese airspace, and the pontiff, following custom, sent a telegram to President Xi Jinping bearing greetings of good wishes to him and the Chinese people. Responding to the pontiff's message, Beijing said it was keen to strengthen mutual trust with the Vatican. The visit of Pope Francis' 43rd voyage in his decade as head of the Catholic Church is also crucial in keeping the door open for improved Vatican ties with Beijing and Moscow, which have yet to offer the Pope an invitation. The Holy See in 2022 renewed a controversial deal with China on the thorny issue of bishop appointments, and Pope Francis has sought to broker an end to the war in Ukraine with Russia. The trip will be a stamina test for the Pope, who continues to travel widely despite undergoing a hernia operation in June and pain in his knee that has forced him to use a wheelchair. And that's all on World News on VOP TV. We would like you to subscribe and engage with us on YouTube. It is Voice of the People TV, and on other social media channels at VOP TV Live. I'm Joy Adesuwa Iramosele. Many thanks for watching and have a lovely weekend.